guilty. Yep, I'm guilty of mainly glamorizing van life just by showing all the nice places that you can go and visit. But in reality, van life does have a list of cons. And in this segment of Black Girl's Guide to Van Life, I am going to be talking about the pros and cons of van life. Shalom, beautiful ones. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Abiyah, and I'm a digital nomad, and I live and travel in my minivan full time. So I'm not in my normal setting. That's because I'm in Atlanta at my sister. I'm babysitting my 2 nephews and my niece and my mom's dog. Got my hands full. And just to give you guys a picture of what I'm dealing with here, everyone I'm watching here can't wipe their own butt. The dog can wipe his own butt, but I do gotta take the dog outside. So let's just say I have my hands full. So if I get interrupted or if you hear a baby, that explains why. My nephew's right here, he's asleep. The 2 little ones, they're up and they're upstairs in their room playing on their tablets or watching cartoons. So I can easily be interrupted, and that's fine. So further ado, let's get into it. In my last video of Black Girl's Guide to Van Life, I gave an introduction to what it is and the purpose and what I hope that you guys will accomplish from this guide. So in case you have not seen that video, I'll link it here. I don't know if it's this side or that side. I'll link it, and it will also be in the description box below. One of my objectives to Black Girl's Guide to Van Life is to provide you with a realistic and humble picture of this lifestyle based on my research and my personal experience since I've been doing this full time for almost a year. All right, a little setback. Are you up? Are you going back to sleep? This is my nephew, and his name is Zion. He kind of woke up. But it looks like he's going back to sleep. I think I might have to pause filming and attend to whatever is going on upstairs. I guess my niece put soap in my nephew's hair. Oosha, I'll be right back. When I first started van life, I started part-time, and now I'm full-time. And along that journey, there were a few things that caught me off guard, things that I didn't think about or take into consideration when I was planning this new lifestyle for me to live. In this video, I'm going to talk about the obvious pros and cons, and then I'm also going to talk about the not so obvious cons that can sneak up on you. First, I want to define what a con is. And I kind of came up with my own definition of what a con is based on this lifestyle. A con is a challenge in need of a resolution. When I started van life part-time, I knew there would be challenges. I didn't know exactly what they will all be, but I knew that there would be some. After weighing my pros and cons, you guys, I end up having more cons than pros. So traditionally, that would have been in the not such a good decision category based on the traditional outlook on how you would look at a pro and a con. But for me, I had already made the decision that I wanted to try this lifestyle, which is why I started part-time versus going full-time. And think about it this way. Whenever you go to a pool or something, or you go swimming, you normally what? You test the temperature of the water. You may stick your foot in there or stick your hand in there. You test the temperature before you just dive all in. So that was kind of my concept. I wanted to test the waters before I dove all in to this lifestyle, okay? For me, it's about taking that con and turning it into something positive, or finding a resolution for that con versus saying, well, since that's a con, that's it, that's the end of it, and we're just not even gonna go any further. No. I'm gonna teach you how to work through those cons and how to start by applying this definition when you're writing your pros and your cons for van life. But since I had already made the decision to do van life, I decided to change my mindset to look at my cons as a challenge for me to find a resolution for that con so that I can still pursue what I wanted to pursue. And since van life is an alternative lifestyle, your traditional way of thinking will need to change to think outside the box. I have a quote here. It says, sorry, I can't read up close. Once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. I like that because your mindset is important because it shapes how you see the world. So changing your mindset is going to definitely have its role in changing your lifestyle if that's what you desire to do, or changing it doesn't even have to be van life. It can be going back to college or going back to school or moving to a different state. It's going to change your mindset because your mind is comfortable where it's at. So in order for you to challenge yourself, you have to make your mind uncomfortable by changing how you think. Before we get into the pros and cons, I want to tell you guys that I did design 3 My Journey to Van Life notebooks that you guys can purchase to help support my channel and my website. And it's on my website, 3 journals that you can have if you want to go ahead and document notes and document your journey, your progress, steps that you need for this journey into van life, or even if you're in van life, you can still, journaling is always very, very therapeutic, I believe. It's a perfect companion for van life, I believe, because when you have all that alone time, you're able to reflect. And I think writing it down on paper helps to put that energy into existence. So positive affirmations or whatever it is that you desire in your heart that you need to get out your chest, that you want to talk about, get that energy out of you. Release it on the paper so that you can grow. And that's what journaling is all about for me. I like creating journals because I love to share that passion of mine with you. And also, if you decide to purchase one of my journals, that definitely does help and support my channel, my website, and my journey. So thank you in advance. And the link to my website is down in the description box below. And I'm gonna put it somewhere on this screen. Now, as I list the pros and cons, okay, just keep in mind that everyone's pros and cons will be different. But I did do some research and I found some of the most common ones that I see amongst all sorts of different types of people, okay? So let's get into the obvious cons, okay? And then we'll save the pros for last. Some of the most obvious cons to van life is one, limited space. Whether you're coming from a house, from an apartment, a studio, a one-bedroom room, whatever the case is, converting into a vehicle, you're definitely losing a lot of space. That definitely will take some time to get used to. Lack of stability. You're always on the move. You're always on the go. I think when I first started van life, I think I was really into the glamour side of it, or the curiosity side, to the point where I wanted to see this, I wanted to see that, I wanted to go here, I wanted to do this. I did feel like I was always on the go. When I stayed in Maryland for about a week, I believe, it felt kind of really good to just like settle down in one area and not have to travel hours. It just felt really good to be stable in one place for that amount of time. Safety and security. I mean, in this lifestyle, I believe I don't really have a good sense of security, because a bear could break in my car, a human could break in my car. And if I'm sleeping in there, that's really gonna be a very uncomfortable situation. So I do my best to try and not put myself in a compromisable position. But safety and security is a big con, especially for solo female travelers. Yeah, someone could break in my car, and then I could say, yeah, someone could break in your house. Later on in this segment of these videos, I am going to go over some safety and security topics. Vehicle breakdown. Let's admit it. It's going to happen. Your vehicle is going to break down, unless you can tell me what vehicle does not break down, what vehicle does not need maintenance. So that is a huge thing, because if you lose your vehicle breaks down, how long is it going to take for it to get fixed? They can't fix it right away. Your home is your vehicle. So where are you going to sleep? Where are you going to go? Those are things that you have to take into consideration. But at the same day and time, yeah, you may have your stationary home and your furnace can go out, your AC can go out, your hot water pump can go out. I mean, things happen. So it's inevitable. It's all about preparing and having a plan for that con. Always cleaning is a con that I've seen a lot of other van lifers say, and I'm gonna add that as well, because living this lifestyle, you don't have a lot of stuff, but you don't have a lot of space either. And it can get messy real quick up in there, real fast. My van can get messy real fast. And not just with my belongings, my personal belongings, but you also have to deal with the debris from outside. If it's winter time, you're gonna have to deal with the salt and all that on your mats. And then in the fall, you're gonna have to deal with the leaves. So I'm always cleaning every day. The flip side to that is it does not take me long to clean. And another con was hygiene. And we'll talk about that as well. There are options out there for people. However, you may not take a shower every day. That's a con for some people. You may have to do a bird bath or whatever, wash up with some wipes or something. Another con that I've seen a lot of people list is pets and children. And I'm sure van lifers that have pets and or children have another whole list of cons that I am not familiar with. But I can only imagine with dog hair, taking dogs outside, no matter if it's raining, snowing, 110, it doesn't matter, 0 degrees, it doesn't matter. You still have to take that dog outside to use the bathroom. And the other most obvious con or most popular con is Wi-Fi issues. Getting Wi-Fi issues is definitely a con, and it's a con for me as well currently right now. I have not found there are options out there for Wi-Fi, I will say. I wouldn't say I didn't find a solution. There are options out there. However, I'm just not right now in the moment to be spending no money, okay? So the way that I resolved that issue was I mainly stay in the city areas, go to libraries, use their free Wi-Fi. I think I've used Starbucks Wi-Fi once, but there are other places, Walmart, I think Target. I've never been on Target's Wi-Fi, but there are places do have Wi-Fi available, and sometimes you don't even have to go inside. Like when I used Starbucks Wi-Fi, I used Starbucks Wi-Fi and I was outside in the parking lot. So I didn't have to go inside and I didn't have to go buy nothing. I saved my money. Oh, your girl cheap, your girl cheap, your girl cheap. So those are some of the most common cons, and a lot of those fit with, things that I've had to deal with. But I found resolutions to majority of them, okay? So with that being said, we're gonna get into the not so obvious cons. Now these cons are kind of like your pet peeves, things that annoy you and irritate you or displeases you. These cons are based upon an individual's personality, lifestyle that they choose to live, because everyone that does van life has their own lifestyle. And that's one of the pros to van life, is you can actually literally customize your lifestyle the way you want for you. And that's what it's all about. Be uniquely beautiful and be you, and customize it to be for you, not for anyone else, only for you. Because you ain't got much space, honey, and you don't have time to be sharing your space with other people's thoughts, okay? You ain't got time for that, okay? I'm gonna let you know. Okay, thank you for listening. Hallelujah. Some of my not so obvious cons is bugs and if you have been watching my videos, you know Abiyah do not like bugs at all, period. They are my number one enemy. I can sense a bug and I can be like, you know, I could be looking over here and I'll just be like, I feel something over there, and it'd be a bug. And my family always asks me like, how do you notice that stuff, honey? Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, I was told, keep your enemies, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. But not too close though, they bugs. Okay, anyways. But bugs was a huge problem for me. I'm a homebody. I stayed in the house. So that was huge for me. But then I was like, I'm not gonna allow bugs to dictate my life. So I just did my own research and I started looking at other people's videos, ask questions, join a Facebook group. For whatever vehicle that you have, there might be one out there. So there's one for minivans, yes. People love to share information in this lifestyle. And I don't know why that is. I don't know, but we do, okay? Because maybe we know something that y'all don't know because we live in it and we try to get y'all there, okay? Girl, calm down, you hype, you too hype. But bugs, but I found a solution. Well, it's not a solution. I found, say for my bug tolerance was like on a scale from 1 to 10, like a 10, right? It's still a 10. But I found a resolution to try and eliminate as much as possible bugs getting in my vehicle. I've tried several different screening mechanisms, and let me tell you, the ghetto one worked. I'm gonna show y'all one day the ghetto one worked. The ghetto one worked, okay? It's called just, what do you call that? A net thing that I got from Home Depot and some magnets, honey, okay? Because I tried the door magnet thing that clips like that. I couldn't figure out how to fasten it around. So yeah, let's just say I like my ghetto one. It works. If you haven't noticed, I don't really go out to the woods during certain times of the year too much. Like now it's summertime and you're not really gonna catch me out in the woods right around this time. It's too buggy. I found that my favorite time to go out to the woods is, well, I would say early spring, late fall, and then the winter, where I can enjoy myself without the bugs being all around me. So that's how I combat that. Usually in the summertime, I'm going to be somewhere in the city, which, yeah, there are still bugs in the city, but it's not like it is out in the woods. So another con that I had before I even started van life was I have a pet peeve. I don't like wrinkled clothes. I don't. I will get up and iron every single day if I need to, okay? Because I just can't walk out with wrinkled clothes. And I was really kind of stressing about that because I don't have like a closet or anything in my van. My clothes are usually folded in my drawer, in my dresser drawer. So they're gonna get wrinkled. So I found a resolution to that. Yes, I did. I got me a mini iron and a mini ironing board. And that took care of that. It may not be strong enough to get every single last wrinkle out my clothes, but guess what? It gets the majority of them, and I'm happy and I'm satisfied. And I kept it on moving. Yes, I roll around with an iron and an ironing board in my minivan because I don't like wrinkled clothes. And that's a personal pet peeve. Some of you may have the same pet peeve. Some of you may have different pet peeves that just irritate you, or you just can't live without. Everyone's pet peeves are going to be different. Also, along my journey, I've picked up a few other not so obvious cons, and one of them is cooking. I do enjoy cooking to a certain degree. I'm not an everyday type of a cook anymore, since I'm an empty nester, but I do like to try different recipes here and there. But cooking in my van, it took a while for me to feel comfortable with the way my setup in my kitchen is. Organization is going to be very important in van life. You have to have some type of organization. Because when I first started van life, I had all my kitchen stuff, and stuff was over here, stuff was over there. I mean, it was just like nothing made sense. Like I needed a one-stop place to get everything I need to cook, like right here. So I actually rearranged or reorganized my kitchen or cooking station, cooking setup, maybe 3 or 4 times. And now I finally got it down to the point where I can access everything just by standing in one place, which is great. The problem is cooking in a van like this, it takes a lot longer to do than you would if you were in a house. You have to clean as you cook, and that's another personal con that I developed living this lifestyle, was the washing dishes. Cooking and washing dishes takes a lot longer than expected. So those are some of the not so obvious cons that I picked up along the way. So coming into this lifestyle, I knew that there would be cons. I knew there would be challenges. I knew there would be disadvantages that will come along that way. That's why I probably sat there and researched this stuff for almost a year because I was worried about those things. But I didn't allow those things to stop me. And that's kind of where I'm taking you guys. I don't want your cons to stop you if you're physical and able to do this lifestyle and you want to do this lifestyle. So what I want you guys to do is write down your pros and cons. Write down the positive things of what you would hope to gain from this lifestyle. And then write your list of cons. The pros are great, but those cons, remember what they are. It's a challenge in need of a resolution. So for those cons, start thinking about a resolution for that con. What can you do to resolve that con and turn that con into a positive? I always believe that when there's a will, there's a way. But when it comes to van life, there are so many nomadic YouTube content creators out there in all different types of vehicles. They live in different states. I mean, I'm just saying, you have some people that like to climb mountains, some people that like to dwell in the city, urban living, some people that like to go to the back country and camp. I mean, YouTube provides us with a variety of different types of lifestyles that you can go and look at their channels, because like I said, we enjoy sharing this information with others. I learned a lot from other people's channels. A lot. I basically learned this whole lifestyle from other people's channels, which is why this is my way of giving back. I still had to find what works for me, what makes me comfortable, because I don't know if you've ever walked in 2 different stationary homes and they looked exactly the same. I don't think they did, because their personalities are different, so they're attracted to different things. So it's the same way with van life. Oh, you know what? I forgot one of the most important cons. Oh my goodness. And it's kind of an obvious con, which is weather control. You have no control over it. The weather's going to do what the weather's going to do. Okay? And depending on where you live, if you're full-time or part-time, the weather, it could be a pro or a con. I don't know where you live. I'm just saying. Where I live, my home base is St. Louis, Missouri. And summertime is definitely a con. Missouri gets very, very hot and humid. Sticky, icky. Okay? And I actually spent last summer in Missouri, and let me tell you, it wasn't the greatest experience. There were some nights where I had to stay at my mom's because I can't sleep at night if it's too hot. And it was just, yeah. So, and I told myself, no, Abiyah, this summer you're not going to do this again. Okay? So, it's already getting hot, and trust me, I got plans to go up north. So just to recap, remember that a con is a challenge in need of a resolution, which this is your proactive action plan to turn a disadvantage into an advantage. Now, everyone has their own reasons for doing a van life, and there are many. And there are some pros to this lifestyle, and a lot of the pros are going to outweigh the cons, not by the number of pros and the number of cons. I'm just saying the value of each. I'm back. I don't know how this is gonna look. I just got a GoPro and I don't even know how to use it, but I'm on my GoPro now, and my phone storage is full, so I gotta go through that and delete some things. But we're gonna wrap it up real quick here shortly. Not too much more of your time. We're just going over some of the benefits and the pros of van life. So one was minimizing your possessions to free up more of your time, your energy, okay? And another pro to this lifestyle, it can be a pro, is financial freedom. Now, this financial freedom, it all depends on the individual. It depends on how you want to live your life in this lifestyle. Are you going to be, paying for campsites all the time? Or are you going to try to find free spots? Do you have, what type of vehicle do you have? That's going to also weigh in on your financial obligations for this lifestyle. This lifestyle it has the potential to give you financial freedom, but it can also be very expensive. It all really typically depends on the individual and the lifestyle that they choose to live. For me, I try to go as cheap as possible. I have paid for a few different campsites, but not many. I try to camp somewhere free whenever I get the opportunity to do so. I try not to spend too much money out and about when I'm out there. And I did have to realize that when you're going to these attraction locations, these attraction sites, they normally charge an admission fee or an entry fee of some sort. So you do have to think about those things and what type of life do you want to live and what your financial situation is. So everyone's situation will be different. It all depends on their lifestyle, but it does give you the option of financial freedom. The other one is also gives you financial freedom because it does lower your monthly cost of living, and that can factor in a whole lot of things. For me, it's just myself. I don't have an animal with me. I don't have any children with me. I just have to feed myself and take care of myself. I don't have, a mortgage that I'm paying or anything like that. So it does give you some financial freedom. Okay, guys, I'm back. The GoPro wasn't working out either, okay? Battery was low, and then it needed to install an update, which I had to do that from my phone. So it's been like 30 minutes and it's still installing. So I had to bring out my Canon camera and film from that, which is fine, totally fine. I just didn't bring my tripod for my camera, but that's okay. Y'all just sitting on top of some boxes and some notebooks, okay? We're gonna make that work. But let me grab my laptop. Okay, so we can wrap this up. Let's see, where were we at? We were talking about financial freedom and saving money by lowering your cost of living. So we talked about that. And the other one, another pro is living by decreasing your financial obligations. You can actually work a part-time job and still live rich. So that's one of the benefits, flexibility, definitely flexibility. It all just depends on the individual and their lifestyle. I know that when I was, when I was part-time van lifing, I didn't have quite as much flexibility as I do now since I resigned from my job. But flexibility is definitely a pro. I can pick up and go. Like here, my family needed me to babysit, and I didn't have to request any vacation time. And I was able to bring my work with me. Everything that I'm working on, I didn't bring my van. My van is still in St. Louis. We drove my mom's car here, but that's okay because that just giving my poor van a rest. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so flexibility is definitely a pro. And a lot of people like to travel. I didn't know that I liked to travel, but I have enjoyed the traveling that I have done so far, and I definitely look forward to future traveling. Travel more is definitely a pro. Okay, let's see. You get to connect with the healing powers of nature. And I say that because nature has a way that can definitely calm you, relax you, heal you, comfort you, especially when you're in a relaxed situation. For me, of course, it would not be those summer months, but it would be when there's less bugs. But I love being out in nature when there are less bugs. The calmness and the stillness is just so beautiful. Also, a pro here is you learn new valuable skills. I did have to learn some skills. I had to learn how to convert my minivan into a camper. And I kind of did that technically on my own in a no-build fashion. I wanted to do a no-build starting off. I didn't want to commit to anything in case I didn't like it. But I learned how to live semi-off grid. I did. And I also learned, don't laugh, okay, just don't laugh. Patrice, the one that helped me build my shelf in my van, she had to teach me how to measure I mean, I knew how to measure, but it's all those little, I don't even know what you call them anymore, girl. Those 1/16, 1/13, like, wait a minute. What is all that? What is all that? I know 1, a half, a fourth, a third, okay, and all that in between stuff, I'm not familiar with it. But she taught me how to use a saw, and I knew how to use a sander, and you just learn new skills out there. So definitely something that I will take with me for a lifetime. So next time, if there is something that I want to build for my van later on down the line, or maybe I might get something bigger, I don't know, but I won't be so intimidated or so afraid of, utilizing the skills that I did learn with building the shelf for my van. And also I learned how to give myself my own jump. I can jump start my battery. You're just learning how to be self-sufficient and taking care of yourself. Not saying that I know how to change a tire, because girl, I don't know how to change no tire, okay? I just don't. And I don't think I want to, okay? That's what I got AAA for, okay? Okay, so, and another pro to van life is you definitely get the opportunity to meet new people if that is your goal. I've met some very interesting people along the way. Most of the people that I actually met are not even on YouTube. So you just meet people at campgrounds, and people are just so nice and so helpful. I just really met some very, very interesting people, nice people, at campgrounds, and they'll give you things. They'll feed you. So, and I met some interesting van lifers that do have YouTube channels. At Schoolie Palooza, I went there, so I met Chantel, Dawn, Ladybug, Ladybug. Oh my goodness gracious. A few other people. I ain't met Lady D yet. I'm sorry, Lady D. I didn't meet you yet. I will one day. But just about the pros and cons. So I would say, when it comes to the pros and cons of van life, I think that writing down your pros and cons and weighing that out. And instead of letting your cons take control of your life, try to find a resolution for that con, to turn it into something as close to a pro as possible. You may not, like the bug situation, I can't get rid of bugs. I am in their environment. We have to share this world together. But at the same day and time, I'm going to definitely try to put up a defense mechanism so I don't have to spray you if you come in my van. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So if it's something, whatever it is that you really want to do, I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. If you really want it, you will figure out how to make it happen. Whatever that is for you in your life, as long as it's not hurting you and it's not hurting anyone else, and it's bringing you peace, joy, and bringing you closer to the Most High. Can't leave him out, for sure. Okay? The next video that I am going to talk about next week for Black Girl's Guide to Van Life is looking at all the wonderful different types of vehicles out there that is possible for this lifestyle. I have seen everything from a car to one of them big old SUVs. Big old RVs. Okay, so I've seen it all. And then in that video, I'll also explain why I chose a minivan versus something else. And I made that choice of a minivan from a logical standpoint. to the circumstances of my life at that time. But I'll explain all of that on the next video. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss next week's edition of Black Girl's Guide to Van Life. Shalom, blessings to all, and I'll see you on the next video. It's recording now. It's recording. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi to my subscribers. Say hi.
Hi to my subscribers.
Say my name is Eddie.
My name is Eddie.
Yeah. Feel it? Say hi.
Hi.
How y'all doing? Say mwah. Awesome. What you say, Millie? You said I'm the what? You said you're the customer and I'm the chef. Say it again. I'm the what?